To follow the breaking news, just a devastating day in Baltimore. A 16-year-old dead, 7 other people shot.
5 of the victims are students from Edmondson Westside High School. All of them were shot across the street from the Edmondson Village Shopping Center. Good evening, I'm Kai Jackson.
And I'm Mary Bubala. We have team coverage on a city in crisis, starting with Rebecca Pryor. She spoke with West Baltimore residents crying out for change amid another deadly shooting in their district. Rebecca.
Yeah, emotions were certainly running high today, Mary. As students were fleeing the high school, parents, they were rushing to the scene, worried it might have been one of their children who was shot here. It was so traumatic, one mother even telling me she plans on moving her family out of Baltimore immediately.
We heard the gunshots, and my son just bust out crying, saying, Mommy, Mommy, they shooting. Did Manny go to school?
Nicole Robinson rushing toward the sounds of gunfire, fearing her son, a student at Edmondson High School, might have been shot.
That's when I then said, oh my God, my son is safe, but somebody else's son is not.
In the middle of the day, a group of students taking their lunch break off campus. A problem police say has been ongoing. Businesses inside the Edmondson Village Shopping Center all told not to serve minors during school hours for this very reason.
Those young people wouldn't be here if they knew they couldn't buy something from this place.
There's no acceptable amount of violence in our city, but it hurts when it's kids.
Evidence markers littering the ground after that lunch break, quickly turning tragic. 5 teens shot, one of them dead, another in critical condition. It's unclear what led up to the violence. One witness telling us he thought the teens were playing a game.
It looked like they was rolling dice.
The next thing he knew, shots were being sprayed.
It sounded like it was like a Uzi going off or something like that.
At the scene, tensions growing amid a lack of answers from city leaders. District 8 Councilman Christopher Burnett caught in a screaming match with one of his constituents.
Our children is dying.
Sir, what you doing about it?
Y'all sitting
What
in
you
the
doing
office
about
doing
it? And what are you doing about it?
This is a passionate situation. All they did was left out of their house this morning to attend school, and they're not going to return home.
Not wanting her children to face the same fate, Robinson now among those reaching a breaking point with the bloodshed in Baltimore.
I'm leaving. I'm not willing to sacrifice the life of one of my children for Baltimore City.
Police say they're still searching for 2 suspects. Anyone with any information is asked to call them, and if you'd like to remain anonymous, you can always call Crime Stoppers. Reporting live in West Baltimore, Rebecca Pryor, Fox 45.
The child shot and killed last week in West Baltimore. 8-year-old Dylan King's death is now officially a homicide. WJZ live outside City Police headquarters. Paul Gessler has where the investigation into this homicide stands right now. Paul?
Denise, City Police have now officially ruled Dylan's death a homicide and now amended his age. You will recall they originally reported he was 7 years old. And neighbors say the 18-year-old taken into custody Friday is Dylan's brother.
The street was blocked off, a lot of cop cars. I was curious to know what was going on.
Police say 8-year-old Dylan King was shot in the head Friday and died at the hospital.
I utterly can't believe that. Like, who would do something like that? I mean, it's crazy.
It happened just after 5 o'clock Friday night at this Pressberry Street home in West Baltimore.
I'm very, very sorry for the family of that youngster.
Neighbors Wednesday react to hearing his death is now officially ruled a homicide.
It's a hurting feeling when you hear something like that. Not, you know, even though it ain't your child or nothing.
It's a good little kid and everything. I knew him from the neighborhood and out here riding his bike, playing with the dogs and cars, didn't cause any problem.
City police say an 18-year-old was in custody Friday undergoing a psychiatric evaluation. They wouldn't say if he's been charged or confirm his relation to Dylan.
There's no reason in God's name that a little child like that should have lost his life.
It's younger guys got these guns like that. Not the elder or whatever, so. Some young guys.
The shooting occurred in the final days of 2022. It is officially added to this year's homicide count in what has been a violent start to 2023.
Everyone walking around blaming the mayor has nothing to do with what you do in your house. You have to take care of your own home.
Now, City Police have not answered any follow-up questions regarding that 18-year-old taken into custody Friday. All they'll say is that Dylan's death is a, quote, open and active homicide investigation. We're live at 4 outside City Police headquarters. I'm Paul Gessler for WJZ.
Baltimore. As we close out 2022, it's another year of more than 300 homicides in our city. And we know that is a number that none of you want to see. WJZ is live. Caroline Forbach with a look at the recent crimes and the latest on the investigations. Caroline.
Well, good evening, Kelsey. As you know, unfortunately, Baltimore City is closing 2022 with another violent weekend.
I pray it does change, but it looks like it's getting worse.
As of Friday, there have been 332 homicides in Baltimore City in 2022 and 687 non-fatal shootings, according to the latest data from Baltimore PD. Friday night, a 7-year-old boy was shot and killed in West Baltimore. Mayor Brandon Scott held a press conference at the scene.
No family should have to feel that pain.
A few hours later, 3 people were shot and 1 was killed in the area of North Carey Street. Homicide detectives are investigating these incidents as well as a long list of cases that remain unsolved. It's no question gun violence is a major problem in the city. There have even been a number of incidents of people being struck by stray bullets.
What we have to talk about, and what I challenge everyone to think about, is the why. Why people are shooting and killing each other.
WJZ talked to locals who say they want better for their city. They're hoping 2023 brings change and safety.
Hope the 2023, could be moving on with something more positive instead of negative.
One man we spoke with says it's on everyone to help move this city in a more positive direction.
Having what I can call a moral compass, something that can lead people, something they look to like a map.
And as always, if you have any information on any of these recent crimes, you can leave an anonymous tip with Metro Crime Stoppers. So now reporting live here in Locust Point, Caroline Forbach, WJZ. Kelsey?
2,482 guns this year, which is a 13% increase over last year.
That was Mayor Brandon Scott just 2 weeks ago.
People are dying over dumb. And that's the reality. And we have to understand how we're going to hold those people accountable.
And that was Mayor Brandon Scott after a 7-year-old was shot and killed Friday night with a much different take on guns on the street.
How many guns are around and accessible to any and everybody?
Mayor Scott seemingly passing the buck when it comes to crime.
Every man in this city has to pull himself into helping what's going on here.
Not so fast, says Sean Kennedy of the Maryland Public Policy Institute.
Every man in the city includes Brandon Scott. Brandon Scott is where the buck stops.
Kennedy says the 7-year-old is part of a troubling stat for the city.
The leading cause of death of children in Baltimore is homicide.
That stat even detailed in this report from Mayor Brandon Scott.
Baltimore is uniquely violent, and worse, we are numb to the violence, its frequency, and its randomness.
Fox 45 put that theory to the test.
Do you ever get scared while you're here?
No, I don't. I don't pay no mind. Yeah. I'm always looking around everywhere I walk.
The less you know, the less you gotta worry about. So when I see stuff like that, I just keep it moving.
Those 2 residents oblivious, even though one narrowly escaped gunshots at the Mondawmin Metro station that left 1 man dead.
That Baltimore is a terrible, dangerous, and wild, wild west type of place.
A wild place with only one person to blame, according to Kennedy.
Brandon Scott should be the one held accountable for these crimes because he's not doing enough to change the dynamic in Baltimore. He's holding press conferences instead of getting stuff done.
Brutal attack in Baltimore County. It happened over the weekend.
Security footage from a gas station on McLean Boulevard in Parkville shows the moment 2 people carried out the ambush before shooting the victim. This is just one of 2 instances of gun violence in Baltimore County over the weekend, and both within hours of each other.
And WJZ live at 11 o'clock. Christina Mendez breaking down what police are confirming about both of these investigations.
And Christina, police say the suspects in the gas station shooting were wearing masks.
Vic and Rick, you saw the surveillance video for yourselves. Yes, those 2 people were wearing masks, but the store manager took us inside that security system room. They have cameras posted on every single pump and around the station. And you better believe that those caught not only the getaway car, but the make, model, and the temporary tag that was posted on the back of it. Gas station security cameras rolling as 2 men in masks on a mission set their sights on a customer standing at the drive-thru window. The man in the red hat goes to get back inside this SUV, but is put to a stop after a struggle. In the seconds after this moment, he would be shot, later dying at the hospital. Police identifying him as 24-year-old Malik Baker.
Scary as hell.
This is how some regulars of the convenience store in McLean Boulevard in Parkville feel after learning of the gun violence. Baltimore County Police say the shooting call came in around 2 in the morning Sunday. A timestamp on that surveillance video shows the incident from start to finish only took about 60 seconds, but left hurt behind to last a lifetime for Baker's family and friends.
Our thoughts and prayers are with the Baker family tonight.
Police spokesperson Joy Stewart confirms this is one of 2 shootings county detectives are working. Just 2 hours earlier, that same day, officers went to investigate both the car crash and shots fired in Essex within a quarter mile of each other. Once on Heartland Road in Sugarwood Circle, police say a pair was found inside a crashed car, one of them suffering from a gunshot wound.
We would ask anyone who has information to please contact us, even if it seems as if it might be insignificant.
This call to action for the community to help is one some feel will be answered.
I'm pretty sure if like someone knew something, they would speak out, because they like a real like gated community. They stick together.
Police do tell us that the man shot in Essex is expected to survive, and now they're working to figure out if those 2 people in the car were the intended targets. As for the gas station shooting, police do confirm right now what they're working on is the circumstances that led up to what happened at the gas station. I'm reporting live from Baltimore Police Headquarters. I'm Christina Mendez for WJZ.
Early payday